How's everyone doing tonight? So we have day 10 of the Ugears Dream Cabriolet. You can see it here. It's we got the side walls, we got the engine, we got the trunk, we have some power transfer here, we have somewhere to add power there. We have a store power here. I broke a gear inside of here that's supposed to make the pistons go up and down, and some piston caps fell out. So I think we're not going to worry too much about that, but let's see what we can do with the rest of this. All right, so let's get going. How's everyone doing? I already said that, but post in the chat. Post anything you want. Post where you're from. Let me know who's watching this. And if you're going to fall asleep listening to it, click like before you do. It helps. All right. So we got some tools, sandpaper, wax, and in the box we got a bunch of rubber bands and toothpicks. We're going to put that off screen for the moment. But it's slightly on screen. I think that works out good. It's just a little bit there to remind you that it exists. All right, so I'm just testing what range we have here to work with. I think it looks pretty good. So I guess we got to get started. It says page 22. Did we complete page 22 yesterday? No, we didn't. I'm looking at page 22 now, and that doesn't look familiar. I don't think we did any of that. So the first instruction on page 22 is to create 8 size 2Z toothpicks. All right, so right off the bat, we're starting with kind of a repetitive task here. All right, so we're going to create 8 toothpicks of size Z2, which Z2, if you recall, it's this little tool they give us here. And the top one, if I can get it to focus, the camera to focus, might be a little overlit there. It's actually kind of upside down. You can read it from this side. Now it's the bottom one. Let's see. What if we turn off the light? Anyway, the bottom one says 2Z. I'm not sure how to make that readable for you, but right there it says 2Z. We're going to make 8 of those. But that's going to be kind of a repetitive task, so let's write from the start. Go check out the news. That's yesterday's news. Though I wouldn't be surprised if that's still a big story today, but let's officially go. I'm on timcast.com. I kind of not totally comfortable with a guy putting his name and claiming that he is the world's Tim. I mean, I know that's how business works, but I feel like, what if some Tim who hasn't been born yet wants to put his name in? Now Timcast is taken. I don't know. I'm never a fan of that kind of stuff. I kind of wish it had a different name, but whatever. It's basically Tim Pool's website. I actually didn't use it at all until I started this stream, 6 months into this stream, when I decided, rather than pulling out random cards, I would look at the news, which I might go back to the cards. I might go back to self-help lists, especially if people are sleeping. But at least for tonight, let's read the news. So the first news is Biden proclaims March 31st Transgender Day of Visibility. Today we show millions of transgender and non-binary Americans that we see them belong and they should be treated with dignity and respect. All right, so yeah, I do have something to say about this, although some might find it controversial. So what I have to say about this is, I'll just leave that on the screen while I'm cutting the 8 toothpicks. So how many toothpicks do I need to make 8 of these? I probably can get it at least 3 from one toothpick. So there was a shooting recently and the shooter was transgender. But already on the calendar was this transgender Day of Vengeance. And I think the phrase Day of Vengeance didn't sit comfortable with a lot of people. So at first, when the shooting happened, people thought, oh, it'll shut down the Transgender Day of Vengeance. And of course, there's no amount of eggs you can make that ever justifies, there's no amount of omelet you can make that ever justifies the eggs. I'm not one of those people who thinks like you got to crack eggs to make an omelet. So this would never be something that could be done intentionally, although, you know, I'm not going to go there. I know Alex Jones has to pay like trillions of dollars for for saying things didn't really happen, and, you know, but it would be worse if you said they did happen and were part of a coordinated effort. I don't know which is worse, but here's the thing. Something that was going to have a very ugly name, Transgender Day of Vengeance, whatever the hell that means, instead now gets controlled not by people on Reddit forum, but by now the White House is going to call it like Transgender Day of, you know, Dignity, or what do they call it? Visibility. So basically, because of this horrible, horrible event, this has now been renamed. And the people who came up with the original name, maybe they wouldn't have went along with this if not for not having a choice. So basically, now the day has a name that it's almost like a holiday. It's like how they have pride parades in June. So now it's like, what month is this? They're saying like March 31st, right? So what, now March, April, May, June? I mean, this is literally longer than a season. I mean, if you're going to have the Day of Visibility, which now it has this like reputable name, Day of Visibility. By the way, let me just update the counter before I forget. So I'm doing 8 toothpicks, so that's 239 pieces. I know toothpicks aren't like the most amazing pieces, but we have to have some method of counting, and I'm counting the toothpicks. So by having Transgender Day of Visibility on March 31st, because as you know, they collect all the letters together, and it's like LGBTQ plus, and I might even be missing a few letters. I'm not gonna, and not intentionally. I just like not fully up to date on what it is. So if that's gonna start on March 31st with visibility, and it's gonna go through parades the entire month of June, well, we're now looking at minimum the length of a season. Like winter, like 1/4 of the calendar year. I mean, can you imagine? Well, nobody wanted this, excuse me, the tragedy that happened. Nobody wanted that to happen. There's nobody who's fine with that. So, you know, this is all like kind of theoretical, but I just didn't see that article. I didn't hear that phrasing until just now. By the way, my camera appears to be frozen. I'm trying to figure out how to unfreeze it. So is it only HDMI 1 that's frozen? In which case I have to enter the cables directly. How about HDMI 2? That's not frozen. All right, HDMI 1. I'm going to do something off screen that you're not going to see. I'm pressing buttons. Yeah, that is definitely frozen. So I switched to this like big league sort of, I don't know what you call it, HDMI switcher. I switched to an A10 Mini because the HDMI switchers that I used to use, they were always freezing. So now I got this fancy schmancy, you know, ATEM switcher that's used by professionals, and now it's frozen. And now I'm trying to just reboot it, but it has this thing that it like locks the plug in. All right, so I just took the plug out. I cut the power, and I turned the power back on. The funny thing is, this wasn't working in setup for like the first time ever, and I made I made the plugs a little tighter. Maybe I got to do that again right now. I got to tell you, nothing's working yet. It's still, after the reboot, it's still not working. So I may have to plug the cables directly in. Let's see here. Like the cable that's HDMI 1, like I can't even show you it. It's the one that it's frozen on here. This one is frozen. I may have to plug that cable directly into the YOLO box because it's not working here. We got technical difficulties on this A10 Mini. Another thing I can do is plug the cable down into a different spot. What I'm going to try for now is unplugging it. When I unplugged it, it went blank, which means that it was sending a signal. So now I plugged it back in. And now I'm going to plug it. Well, let's wait and see what comes up. All right, it's no longer frozen. All right, so I don't know. I guess we're just going to continue working here. So whoever behind the scenes at YouTube, their automated chat monitor, I guess didn't like what I was talking about. Anyway, the reason why I went to this ATEM, which worked perfectly for a week or so, was because I used to use like the HDMI switchers, which I got for free, for review, and they would sometimes crash. Now, of course, they don't have all the programming and guts that the A10 Mini has, but the main thing that I need isn't any of the guts. Isn't any of the software. I just need the program to switch. And by the way, oh, never mind. I pressed the switch button on the picture-in-picture, and it didn't switch, but that's because I have tabs in the iPad. So basically, there I have two. The first one I bought was an A10 Mini Pro, which turns out I don't need because it could replace a YOLO box, and I don't need something to replace the YOLO box. The second one I bought was the A10 Mini without the Pro, and that seems to be more reliable. So I think tomorrow I'm going to swap the position of these two, because the A10 Mini, because it has less programming going on compared to the A10 Mini Pro, it has it's more reliable. It's like half the price of the A10 Mini Pro. So the A10 Mini Pro, you could go online with it. You could go directly online. It like if I show you let me see if I can show you these things real quick. All right, I'm going to switch to the iPad, and I'm going to switch the iPad to the camera. And you'll see my room needs to be cleaned, but more importantly, you'll see there's the A10 Mini Pro, and then I'm going to reach underneath here, and there's the A10 Mini. So if you can see the lights on the right column, they don't even Alright, how's the mic now? Alright, this microphone is very bad, but it is working. So, my microphone, my main microphone, is not working. So, we're going to use this horrible microphone today. I'm really sorry about that. Hopefully tomorrow the main microphone is back. I don't know why it's not working, but it's not working. I rebooted it. At first we had a problem with the camera angle freezing. It seems like the camera angle is working now. But now we lost our microphone, and I'm using obviously this microphone that sounds terrible. But it does seem to work. It's hitting the clipping, which means it's working too good. But let's get back to building here. I really hope that tomorrow that microphone works. I rebooted and it didn't come back. And I don't know why that would be. I also tried unplugging the microphone, powering it down. I tried a few different things and I couldn't get that microphone back. I rebooted the YOLO box. I rebooted the microphone. It's remarkable that the stream is still working. Where'd that toothpick go? Alright, so how many? We did 6. We need to do 2 more. So it looks like it's only we need 2 toothpicks, not however many we were going for before. Yeah, and the camera angles. Wow. Yeah, it's been an adventure tonight. And we lost the picture-in-picture. The scoreboard got moved. The microphone now sounds horrible. But you know, that's when you do a show live. That's the kind of stuff that happens. Alright, trying to get the scoreboard back where it belongs. Oh, are you seeing? I don't know if you're seeing that or not. I'm like trying to move the scoreboard because it somehow got out of the corner and it like won't go back in. I think you're not seeing that though. I think I have to switch to program out. Alright. Yeah, you aren't seeing that. So anyway, the scoreboard still not where it's supposed to be. Maybe I'm like care too much about the scoreboard being in the right place, but let me just try one more second to get this right. So now I'm like almost forming a conspiracy theory in my head as to like who has the power to shut down my microphone. Because it's like the only thing not working is my microphone. Almost like someone's in a back room saying somewhere, you know what, yeah, let him build the puzzle, but cut his mic. I mean, am I running this equipment or not? Like, who's in charge of this equipment? Well, with that said, although I wouldn't agree, I mean, I'm not really like a constitutional expert, but if the Constitution says I have freedom of speech, then I disagree with someone cutting my mic. Though, let's say it were for some reason allowed. I don't believe it is, so I'm against it. But if it were in a theoretical world where someone did have the power to cut my mic, I do appreciate that I can still build the puzzle, but I don't like that now I have this bad sounding microphone. So like nobody's going to watch this video because the mic sounds bad. So that's not good. And I kind of want to turn the microphone back on, but I just know that it's not going to work. So, but what I don't understand is why it doesn't work. Like it was working fine every other day. What I could do, potentially, is try plugging it straight into the YOLO box, the microphone, without adding the gain, because the YOLO box has kind of a mixer. You know, I've been wondering about that for a while now. I'm going to try that. Although I would have to get to my equipment, which would I should keep it close by. I should keep the thing that sends the microphone straight to the YOLO box. I should keep it like closer. I don't. In the future I will, but for right now, I'm just going to go grab it. Hang on a second. Alright, so I'm like moving my green screen, walking to the other side of the room, and getting the thing that's going to allow the microphone to plug straight into the YOLO box. just to see if that works. Okay, I'm over at my bag. The DJ bag. This is all like DJ equipment, even though I'm not a DJ. It's a DJ truss. It's a DJ. Everything is DJ equipment, and the equipment's kept in a DJ bag. Alright. But this thing, this like microphone thing that's going to allow it to plug straight into the YOLO box, I'm going to start keeping one of those at the desk, because having it like far away like this, and now is causing an interruption in my stream. So, I'm going to like that. What's cool though is this microphone that I'm on now, even though it's horrible, it seems to work from across the room. Like I can see the meter from where I am, and I see it's getting into the yellow. So the good microphone is not going to work from this distance, I'll tell you that right now. But this bad microphone, I could like walk around the room and it still works. Alright. Now I'm resetting the green screen, if I can remember how I even had that. I think I gotta just push it far enough. Oh wow, it's completely sagging at the top, so I did not push it far enough. Try a little bit here. Okay, not perfect with the green screen, but I think it's good enough. Alright, let me just test there. Yep, green screen's back. Okay. We want to keep it on this though. Oh, I'll just show you very quickly. Well, actually I can show you here. So I'm going to use this to plug the microphone directly into the YOLO box and see if that works. I don't know if it will. We're going to find out. Frankly, I don't know why it stopped working. Alright, so I'm unplugging the microphone. There we go. That's unplugged. Well, actually, I unplugged the mixer, which is Scarlett Solo. Now I'm unplugging the microphone. I don't know why I'm giving all the information, because I'm giving it sort of as a sound check sort of way so I can review it later, but I'm also clearly giving this information to whoever's knocking out my microphone. Alright. Let's see here. I have no idea if this is even going to work. Hasn't been tested. Alright, so let's see here. I don't have a lot. I kind of wanted to show it on camera, but it's like just slightly off camera. No, there it is. Alright, so I'm going to plug, what do they call this, XLR into 3.5 millimeter. So I'll plug the XLR into a 3.5 millimeter. My camera froze again. Oh no. Why is my camera keep freezing? Alright, so here's what I was showing you from a distance. But my main camera is again frozen. Like, what do I got to do tonight? I can't get anything to work. So I'm again going to put my main camera, I'm going to reconfigure it to be a home run, because nothing else is working tonight. Alright, let's see there. Okay, now does that work? Let's see. Yeah, that works. So the ATEM and the microphone are the things not working, which is crazy. These are like the two best pieces of equipment, the Scarlett Solo and the ATEM Mini. These are like very popular pieces of equipment in the industry. They shouldn't be causing any problems. Anyway, now we're going to plug. So the ATEM Mini Pro is not working. It's frozen again. Now, you're kidding me. Now camera 3 is frozen. The home run is frozen. Unfreaking believable. So nothing is working tonight. Alright. So I went back to this camera because camera 3 is frozen. I feel like I need to like reinstall this YOLO box or something. Like something is not working here. So like camera 3 froze. Let me just check that again. Yeah, camera 3 is frozen. Camera 3, which is a home run, is frozen. Explain this to me. Alright. I wanted you to see me plug the microphone into the YOLO box. I wonder if I still could do that with this camera. Like, this camera is focused right now on the what is that thing called? But I could switch it to the YOLO box. Oh, you don't see what I'm looking at. Okay, let me see here. So I took the camera that was focused on the spinning wheel, and I focused it on the top of the YOLO box. So you can see me plug the microphone in. And let's see what happens. I actually never even tried this, even off camera. Alright, so there we go. Got it. So we're going to turn off the USB, and then we're going to turn on the mic. Alright, so that what I tried with the microphone didn't work. It didn't work. What can I tell you? Plugging the mic directly into the YOLO box didn't work. So, there's nothing really to talk about there. It just didn't work. Alright, I'm going to try one more time plugging it into... I'm going to have to remove this broadcast from the podcasts, because who's going to listen to this? So, it can still be used in the Assembling the Dream Cabriolet, but it's now not going to be good for a podcast because it's just going to be an hour of me doing a mic check. Alright, let's try again. Now I'm trying to find the mic cable. Let me move this back. Maybe that's a little bit more interesting. The Wheel of Fortune, rather than me looking for a microphone cable. Alright, so we have the microphone cable, but what do we do with it? Here we go, I found it. Okay, plug that back into the microphone. The only thing I can think to do is unplug. I have a USB like SanDisk in there. I maybe should unplug that. Okay, I'm going to plug the microphone back in and see what happens. Alright. Okay. Alright, now we're back on the horrible microphone. I can't get the good microphone to work today. I'm going to stop trying to get the good microphone to work, which is a shame. I mean, if this microphone is now kaput, that's like really a shame. When I was trying to use it, it seemed like it worked. It was transmitting like static, but it wasn't transmitting voice. So it really did seem like a microphone problem. But it's weird because the problem started with the camera freezing. So how are those related? Are those related? I don't really know. So we tried this, that didn't work. Anyway, we're just going to go back to doing the puzzle, because this broadcast is 46 minutes in and we didn't add a single piece to the puzzle. Didn't add a single piece in 46 minutes. I don't know if you want to call it gremlins or what, but nothing was working. Alright, so on the back here, they don't really show actually the back. It's more like they show here. You see that? I don't know if you can even see that. You see that little like hole there? They show one of the toothpicks going in there. Yeah, and there's like a close-up. Oh, sorry. Alright, you didn't see what I saw. So they have this arrow. They show a toothpick and an arrow and a close-up. So basically they're trying to say put a toothpick in there. Wow, we're like back to like months ago. Bad microphone and one camera angle. I mean, it's just one episode. I'm going to do some things for tomorrow. I think I'm going to switch the location of the two ATEMs. But the microphone, if the microphone's gone and we have to replace the microphone, well, that's going to cost me $100, which I'm not happy about that. I mean, I didn't even get a month out of this microphone. I don't know what to say. Is like the cable frayed? Is the cable too long? Is something not connected? I don't know. I don't know what's going on with this microphone. Yeah, I'm not going to check it anymore on camera tonight, but I'm going to be really disappointed if I only get like 3 weeks out of my $100 microphone. Anyway, we put one piece in, one toothpick in. You know, in 46 minutes we added one toothpick. Alright, excellent. The second toothpick goes here, which you can't even see at this moment. I gotta like squeeze this a little bit. Basically, there's another toothpick hole there. But it's, I wish I could go to my super zoom, my close-up, but I made my main camera a home run. I wonder, I can't even tell, should I send one ATEM to the other ATEM? No, that's crazy. Alright, I'm just going to stick with this. We're just not going to have close-ups tonight. And I'm just going to work on this one camera angle with bad microphone. You know what? We did like 100 episodes with one camera angle and a bad microphone, so we can survive. It's not going to be that bad. In the grand scheme of things, it doesn't really matter. Alright, there's two toothpicks. The third one goes on the other side. Oh, by the way, this one was already here. I guess we put it in at some other point. But there's going to be another one kind of here. We got to like expose it. There it is. A little bit further so we can actually get the toothpick in. Alright, so it's kind of like locking pins, I guess you'd call them. They're just kind of making everything stay in place, these toothpicks. Wow. So like for 3 weeks I had a good, or 2 or 3 weeks I had a good microphone. And now I'm back to this garbage microphone. Maybe tomorrow it's going to work. You know what I can do? I can plug the microphone into the ATEM if it's a YOLO box problem. But I don't know if it is a YOLO box problem or not. It could be a Scarlett Solo problem. It could be a YOLO box problem. It could be, I don't know, something else. It's just really weird that it happened the same time as the camera freezing. So that makes it seem like related. There's also a USB that's in there. Like I could untax there's a USB drive plugged into the YOLO box, and I can't unplug it because the background, this like background is on the USB, but I can unplug it if I load that background onto this. I don't know if I could do this on the air. Let me try it. It's already a messed up episode, so let's do it. I'm pressing a button at the bottom of the YOLO box that's going to eject a SIM card. Not a SIM card. You can put a SIM card in the YOLO box, but what I'm going to eject is an SD card. There it is. All right. So I just ejected this SD card from my YOLO box. So I could transfer all of the backgrounds to the SD card, and then I won't need the USB. So I can do that tomorrow, although I have a very busy day tomorrow. I have to return this stuff. Not return, it's like, you know the things they won't pick up at the trash, like computer stuff, and you have to like bring it. So I got to do that tomorrow. That's probably going to take forever. My son has a track meet. That's going to take... Basically, I have several multi-hour jobs tomorrow, so I may not get here to this desk until it's exactly the moment to stream. But anyway, whenever I get here, maybe Sunday I'll work on figuring out what the heck's wrong with this microphone. Or maybe tonight after I log out, if it's quick. Maybe just one reboot and it'll fix. Who knows? Alright. So we put in 3 of the 8 toothpicks, and now the next 3 more are going to go. We got 6, what do we got? 5 left. So 3 are going to go. We need 2 89s. So we need 2 89s. So let's increase our counter by 2 more. So up to 241 pieces. And we need 2 89s. The 89s are on the first board. 2 89s. Wow. I can't believe we wasted 46 minutes. So I'm going to have to take this video off of the podcast. I'm going to do that right now, because this is garbage. This video is not qualified to be a podcast. Alright, let me take that out now. How do I do that? Alright, go to Studio, Content. By the way, I gained a subscriber what during the process of this podcast. So like this podcast where I just did like 30 minutes of mic checks, someone joined, but maybe it was based on a different video. Anyway, let me just go here. The current stream which we're in, I'm going to go here and I'm going to remove from the podcast, because this is not quality enough to be a podcast. But I'm going to leave it in the streams, because that doesn't really mean anything. And when I compile this into the Ugears Dream Cabriolet fully assembled video, I'm going to edit out all of the crap. All of the, mic checks and all that stuff, that's all going to get edited out. Alright, so here's the 289s. And we have, again, the camera frozen. So the camera's now a home run, and it's frozen. So that tells me that it's actually this camera that's causing the problem. Alright, so what other cameras do we have? Is this one still frozen? This one is now no longer frozen. But camera 1 is now frozen, which is insane. How could camera 1 be frozen? Alright, so we're gonna work from distance tonight. Let's get our 289s. This is gonna be the worst camera angle ever. Let me just even turn off this screen, because that's gonna be annoying if that's on camera the whole time. Alright, no, it's still gonna be annoying. Let's do these 289s on this camera, and then when we go back to the instructions, we'll figure something else out. I'll tell you, it's a real adventure tonight. It's fun for me. I apologize if it's not fun for you, but for me it's fun, because I'm learning about how all this equipment works. But for you, maybe it's like, what the hell is going on here? Why doesn't this guy stop the stream yet? Well, I haven't even gotten one page done. I mean, I can't stop the stream before doing a single page. I mean, I know it's tiny, but you can see the piece that I'm working with. It's very tiny, but you can see it. And I'm sure that that other camera one is going to come back. I think what I'm going to do is, I think I should reboot that camera. Actually, that camera one is back. I can just see it. I saw it in the preview. It was back. So I can't even explain that. Like, why did camera one go into an extended freeze? So it's no longer in the ATEM. It's now in the YOLO box. So that means the YOLO box was freezing. And by the way, it's frozen again. So we're going to go back to HDMI3 again. So the YOLO box is freezing. So it's probably also the thing that's messing up my camera. I don't know. I don't know what to tell you at this point. I mean, I like this thing. It worked great for the last month, but if it's going to stop working now, I mean, I don't know really what to do. All right. So we added the 3 toothpicks to the 289s. What I'm doing is off camera, I unplugged that camera one because maybe that's going to come back online. Actually, it is back online. Alright, so the 289s were put together. They don't show them connecting to anything yet, and they show these last two toothpicks going to 90 and 91, which are also on board one. So can I unplug that? What I can do is I'm going to unplug that SanDisk, and maybe that's going to take some pressure. Yeah, this thing's like 800 degrees. So tomorrow I'm going to copy all my backgrounds to the other. They're actually both SanDisk USB and SanDisk SD card. So I'm going to copy all my backgrounds to the SD card, and I'm not going to have the SanDisk in tomorrow, and there'll be less going on, and maybe the microphone will be back, and maybe the cameras will stop freezing. I really can't explain it because it worked perfectly so many nights, and now it's like garbage tonight. Anyway, it happens. The show must go on. That's the important thing, right? That we get this Ugears Dream Cabriolet built. I mean, the audio, whatever. My commenting on the news, that's definitely a whatever. But let's get this model built. It doesn't say to, it doesn't say to sand this, and there's no splinters, so I'm not going to sand it. What I do want to do, you know what, I don't think it even matters. Like, this piece is asymmetric, but this piece is symmetric, so nothing is really, like, it shows this slits being on top, but the top is not defined yet. So it doesn't really mean anything until we put this piece somewhere, but I'm regardless going to follow the instructions. You know, today was a crazy day. Maybe it's like going to be a March Madness type of thing. Maybe the YOLO box will be back working tomorrow. Let's see. I feel like I want to try commenting on the topic that I was doing before just to see if something else breaks, because then we'll know that it's related to that. So the topic was that Biden changed Transgender Day of Vengeance into Transgender, what is that? Day of Visibility or something like that. I may not be saying it right, but basically he changed from vengeance to visibility, which is interesting because is this a ground up movement or a top down movement? Like, how is Biden able to change the name of something that was invented by, I'm going to call them Redditors, but I'm sure it exists other places besides Reddit. 4chan used to be big. I put this in the wrong spot. Alright, I gotta pay attention to what I'm doing. Remarkably, it fit, which tells me that's probably where it's going next. Let me just preview. If it's going there next, then I'm not even going to change anything. It is going there, and this is the correct side. It's not going there next, though. It's next going to this like saw blade piece, but it is going there. So, yeah, no, that's not correct. It's going to go on the other side, which is fine. We just do like that. Now it's on the other side. Alright, so the saw blade goes in between these two pieces. So we're going to go a little bit out of order here. So first of all, we got to add these two pieces, and then we got to add that saw blade. So we're up to 244. That saw blade is 92, which happened to have just fell out already. So it knew it was up next. And this is going to go in between, and then these are going to line up, and the toothpicks are going to go in. I actually think that this is the better way to do it. Like, the way we were originally putting it together didn't really line up, but this way does. So let's do it like that. Oh my goodness. Well, alright, we gotta get it flush. So let's get on top here, crush it between two pieces of wood, and hopefully we get it flush. And then, I don't know that we really need these toothpicks, but we're going to put them in. The instructions say to put them in. We already counted them in our counter, so we're going to put them in. And I got to keep an eye on the monitor because this thing could freeze again. Although, maybe not. Maybe now I took out the USB, it won't. I'm actually tempted to plug the microphone in one more time, because then we can blame it on the USB thumb drive rather than someone like trying to knock out my coverage of the news, which I would be real, sad if that happened. Not real sad, but slightly disappointed, just because why I'm not allowed to have an opinion on the news. Not that I really care, but why am I not allowed? I have First Amendment rights. Okay. So the camera hasn't froze since we took out the USB, right? So do you think the microphone will work? I'm going to try one more time. Alright, let's start by plugging the microphone. No, USB powering the mic. It actually won't work unless it's plugged into a computer. Alright, so we plugged it into the computer. And then we have to turn on the phantom power. And then here's the big one. You have to switch from one microphone to the other. I'm going to turn off the USB. It's going to be silent. And then I'm going to attempt to turn on the microphone. And it's either going to work or it's not. If it works, you'll hear it. If not, there'll be a couple more seconds of silence. And then I'll go back to the crappy USB webcam mic. Alright, so here we go. I think you didn't hear the microphone, but I'll tell you. It showed on the meter, but it didn't show in the, it didn't come up on the monitor, but it showed in the meter. In fact, when I had both mics off, the meter was going crazy. Let me try that again. Okay, now we're back on the USB. Okay, when I turn the USB on, there's like a loud blast into the red. Sorry about that. The mic, there's a little symbol here. Let's click on that. Audio gain cap. Let's see. Wow, okay. The audio gain can go higher. So if I plug the microphone straight in and I uncap the audio gain, I probably could still use the good mic. But here's the thing. The good mic, it's working. It, like, I see on the Scarlett Solo that it's working. It's just not working. It's just not going into the YOLO box for some reason. I can't explain why that is. I'm going to unplug it one more time. Is it a cable problem? Is it another problem? Let's see here. Okay. Alright. We're going to do the same thing again. We're going to turn on the mic, and we're going to turn off the USB. We're going to turn off the USB, and we're going to turn on the mic. And we're going to see what happens. So we no longer have the good microphone. I don't know what to tell you. We're just going to do one page tonight, and I'm going to spend the rest of the night off camera trying to fix the microphone, because I'm really disappointed in that microphone not working. I mean, that's like the main part of what I'm doing here, and it's not working, so that's really annoying. Alright, so we built this little doodad, and that's actually the end of the page. So I actually could have put this on and stopped streaming and then worked on the mic. Alright, no, there are two more pieces before we end the page. It's two 93s. Alright, so we're going to add this piece to here, and I don't know how we're going to do that. It's just going to like sit in there. Yeah, I guess it just sits in there. Yeah. So it turns, yeah, that's pretty cool. Alright, it turns in one direction, not in the other direction. It turns in just that one direction. I wish I could switch to camera 3, but as we know, it's not working. Okay, let me try one more time to get camera 3. Alright, so first, alright, is this camera working? No, that one's still frozen. Alright, I'm going to try to get the long camera. This is already a waste of a show, so I might as well, right? Alright, the studio cam is also frozen, but that could have been the USB thing. Alright, I just unplugged and replugged the studio camera, and that's now working. I don't know for how long. Maybe it's going to break again in a minute. Now, while I have this, I'm going to switch back to the ATEM. While I'm on this camera 3, I'm going to move camera 1, no longer a home run. We're going to put that back into the ATEM, if we can do that without breaking everything else. And then we're going to plug the ATEM back into the YOLO box, and it's probably not going to work, but if it does work, I'll be able to switch to camera 3. Alright, let's see here. Well, I think I just crashed the YOLO box. Okay. Alright. Does it still work or not? I don't know. Maybe it didn't. My screen went blank, but it looked like it. Not only did it work, oh, now the monitor out is not showing up, but I can see, I don't know what's going on here. You still seeing it? I still see it on the YOLO box, and I still see it on YouTube, but I don't know how far YouTube is behind. Anyway, here's the main camera, and here's what I wanted to show you. Camera 3. I just wanted to go to camera 3 so I can show you that this thing that we added here, let me just get regular without the picture-in-picture. So this thing that we just added on the top, we can spin it, and it moves this thing underneath it, which creates tension on this rubber band. So there's a bunch of stored power there. I think if I lift it off, no, the power is still stored. So I'm not sure what releases that power, but the more we crank it, the more power is put into that rubber band. Alright, so let's go back to the instructions for a second, because we're almost done for the night. Let's go back to camera 1. Alright, it's working. So let's see if we can get through the night without any more crashes. So 2 93s, By the way, my monitor is off, which is crazy. Like, why would the monitor, like, that's what's not working now, the monitor? Well, clearly, I'm being messed with tonight. Maybe it's like an automated program, maybe it's coincidence, maybe it's ghost in the machine, but this is not a good night for my stream in terms of tech. The tech is set up correctly. That's not the problem. It's just not functioning correctly. So that's not my issue. Maybe I need to update something. Although both of these things were updated, the YOLO box and the ATEM, within the last week, so I don't think that's it. But anyway, I'll look into that. Let me see if the super zoom. Yeah. Alright, so the last two pieces, they're going to go on this back here. Let's do this little zoom. So my monitor is not working. Alright, let's see if the monitor comes back on. It might, but it might not. So the monitor came back on, but it's not showing the program out. So now that means the program out is not working. How crazy is that? Well, I'm going to reboot some stuff. You know what I'm going to do right now? What camera is on that? Okay, that's camera. What the hell camera is that? I have something powered by a blue USB. Okay, it's camera 2. Okay, camera 2 is going to go out for a second, but it'll be right back. And plus we're on camera 4. So I'm going to unplug this plug because it contains both the monitor and camera 2, and I want to see if the monitor comes back on after I unplug it, because it's not going on right now, that's for sure. Alright, I unplug the monitor, I plug it back in. You can't see that, I can. Now I'm going to put these two 93s in there. So the 93s go flat side down. I'm on the close-up camera, so I have this instinct to look at the monitor, and I just looked and it's pitch black. But it's saying no signal. So the program out is not functioning from the YOLO box. Alright, I just pressed program out, but I don't think that that's actually the problem. I think it's a different problem because it's saying no signal. Because even if it was program out wasn't working, you would still get the mixer out. So it's just basically YOLO. So YOLO box has clearly got issues tonight. I mean, if we're not even getting the program out on the monitor, there's clearly YOLO box issues. It's beyond my cameras. It's beyond the ATEMs. Alright, so let's just get this done. And then I'm going to end the stream and do tech support just for fun. So there's 3 boxes here on each side. And we're going to put the middle box on both sides, flat side down on both sides, the 293s. So that puts us at pieces 246. And this is the last instruction from page 22. So we're going to go to page 23 tomorrow. Yes, I know today was a crap day. I tell you, when I compile this into the full assembly of the Dream Cabriolet, there's only going to be 5 or 10 minutes from this video. And I already moved it from the podcast. So this, today was officially a fail. I'm not going to claim it was anything else. If you stuck around and watched me do mic checks and video checks for an hour, thank you for being a friend. But if you didn't, I totally respect that decision too, because I wouldn't have stuck around. Actually, I might have stuck around out of curiosity, but, I didn't expect anyone else to. Alright, actually I want to go back to the close-up, just to show that this side is in, if you can see that, but this side is not quite in, so I have to push that a little bit further. I'm not sure how to even do that. I'm going to go back to this camera. If I get it in, I'll maybe show you. Yeah, that thing is not moving. I'm going to try using the tool to push it in, and if not, alright, I got a little bit of a lift on it. That might make the difference. Alright, let's get the tool behind it. That also might make the difference. I don't know what's going to make the difference. Also, I'm going to pull it out, because sometimes it needs to be like sanded or waxed. I'm going to sand it. You don't want it so loose that it falls back out. but you don't want splinters that prevent it from going in. So I sanded that piece. I also could try waxing it, but again, you're risking it slipping out if you wax it. Alright, it's still not in. The other side is in flush. This side is not. Alright, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to push it in the wrong side because I can get a hold on it from the wrong side. And if I push it in the wrong side, I at least guarantee that the piece can fit in there. Alright, so now I know the piece can fit in there. But now I got to do it from the correct side. If I can get it back out from the incorrect side. Alright, pulling it out from the incorrect side. Let's go here. Alright, we got it. Okay. And now I'm going to push it back in. So tomorrow when we turn on, definitely that USB is going to be unplugged. We're going to have the background images on the SD card, and I'm not sure I can unload this YOLO box anymore. The only other thing I can do is put, let me show you, this camera, which might be frozen. Now that camera's gone. What I can do is I can put that camera into one of the ATMs, the ATEMs. So then there'll be one less input into the YOLO box. It will actually be two less because, why will there be two less? There'll be two less because I'm going to take, okay, I already took the USB, drive out, so that's one less. And honestly, that USB, it's supposed to be for a webcam out. It's not supposed to be for a USB in. They added that in an update. So let's just say that, let's not even use that. Let's use the SD card for storage. So taking out the USB, that reduces one input. If I put the studio cam into ATEM2, into HDMI 2, which goes into, that's going to be a second input. So I take the studio cam, which is, again, the camera that looks back behind me and sees everything, sees the whole background. I'm going to put that on the same ATEM with the instructions and with the, by the way, it just didn't switch. So the instructions are frozen? Yeah. So we have another frozen camera. Alright. That ATEM is frozen. You're not going to see any more instructions tonight. I might as well switch to HDMI 1, which now has a blue strip on the left side. Yeah, we're really rocking and rolling tonight. Alright. So, the Wheel of Fortune is on the same ATEM as the instructions, and I also can add the studio cam to that, which is that last camera that looks at the whole setup of the truss. And that will be two less inputs. I also could put the microphone into the ATEM that goes into HDMI 1, which has the 4 cameras that go onto the YOLO box, because even though I don't always use those, like sometimes I go to the full screen of the instructions, I can set up the audio so that that camera is always active. It'll be called HDMI 1. So I'm going to try that setup in monitor mode. Actually, you know what? Let's consider this build done. And I'm going to try that right now, because I want that microphone to work. Alright, so I can leave USB on for now, and I'm going to start moving that microphone. Now, what is the microphone input on this ATEM look like? But that's going to tax the ATEM more. So we were talking about switching the ATEM Pro with the ATEM main, but if we're going to remove 3 inputs from the YOLO box, there's going to be much less work for the YOLO box. So anyway, let's try that. Let's offload some work to the ATEM. Alright, so the very last input on the ATEM is mic 1. So I'm going to take the microphone out of the YOLO box, and I'm going to put it into mic 1 on the ATEM. It's the first time I'm trying this. I don't know what's going to happen. Alright, mic 1. I don't even know how to make the microphone come out of this. I don't even know what's the correct way. So I won't be able to tell if the problem is the YOLO box or something else. Alright. It could be the microphone, could be the A10. It's now going to go to 3 different places. Okay, I plugged it in, and it's turned on. I should have turned it off first, but I turned it on. Alright, now, is that mic on or off? I'm going to press the on button to mic 1. It's now on, because it's red. This is the nice feature of ATEM. Things turn red when you turn them on. And red means on air. So I'm going to go to HDMI 1 and I'm going to turn it on. And I'm going to go to USB mic and I'm going to turn it off. So I'm going to turn off USB mic first, and then I'm going to turn on HDMI 1, and we're going to see if we get the microphone back. If not, there'll be it'll be no audio for a minute, and then I'll go back to USB, which is the face cam. Alright, so, wow, this is really loud. Alright, so I can't have the headphones in. So basically, when I ran the mic through the ATEM, all I got was static, which is making me wonder if the microphone is broken. The last test I can do is go to my computer, because the microphone is also going to the computer, although I have to bring up the Focusrite. Alright, we got, how do I hear the microphone on the computer? Anyone know how I do that? Output routing. Output routing is not supported on this device. Input settings. Alright. I'm not sure how to do this. Yeah, I don't know what to do here. I'm just trying to find out if this microphone is totally broken, because I plugged it into the ATEM and all I got was static. But I don't know, you know. Maybe I'll plug it into the other ATEM and it'll work. I doubt it, right? Maybe there's a problem with how the thing is, like, it worked every other night, so why does it not work tonight? Like, what's different about tonight? Alright, I'm going to end the stream, go to monitor mode, and play with microphone. Thank you for bearing with me tonight. Good night. See you tomorrow, hopefully.